Hello everyone, nice to see you all. Welcome back to, I don't know, week 6 or so of the class. Let me just turn on a light. I think that should work a little bit. And one thing that I noticed that I should probably do a little bit better on is cleaning my instrument. And this is kind of a, let me show you just a few little tricks and things. I have been playing probably about, I don't know, 25 to 30 hours a week. So I've collected a whole bunch of rosin and dust on the front of the instrument and also on the fingerboard and then on the strings. And I have a cloth that is kind of felty that I use for this. Felty. It's almost like a velour. An old t-shirt works great. I'm a big fan of that. And some people do it after every rehearsal, but I generally go with like every couple of days. I will be sure to rub off the stuff off the strings. Now, you can try that yourself. An old t-shirt works great. And then sometimes it gets a little caked on, some of you may have discovered. And you can just go through with a fingernail and sort of like knock that stuff off. There are polishes that work with this kind of thing. We're just doing some, fun maintenance. And I'll just sort of rub this thing down. And it gives me a chance to also look for any kinds of damage that may have come in. And to get rid of, let's see if this will come off. I've got some that probably needs to, this is rosin that is probably caked on a little bit more than my rag can handle. In which case, from a violin shop, I picked up some of this, which is polish. I can't seem to find the polish right now, but yeah, you can get it from any violin shop, and oftentimes it'll come with a rag. And then you still need to apply back the rosin. And here's my inside trick. Take the bow with your thumb on the top part of the frog, and overlap it just a little bit so that it overlaps the metal ferrule. And that way, when I apply rosin, it's going to hit against my thumb, rather than the end of the rather than the metal part of the ferrule, which will chip it. And especially if you're paying $10 or $20 for rosin, then I really like to sort of buff it in, and I go until the hair turns color, turns to a white. And then what I'll do sometimes is just sort of like bounce it through the I'll bounce it on my arm so that the rosin sort of works its way through the hair a little bit and is not just on the top part. Okay. Okay, I think that should probably do for a while, perhaps even like the whole week. It was getting a little bit getting a little bit low. One of the things you can tell if rosin gets a little bit low is maybe it doesn't quite grip as much as it usually does. Should be a sort of a chunky kind of a sound or chunky kind of a feeling. And another thing is that the hair will feel sort of, I don't know how to describe it, sort of wet in a way. And not really like dry and connected. And this may be because the rosin protects it from the humidity. I'm not sure exactly, but it'll feel just a little bit maybe even softer. All right. So that way you can get a nice sound on here, and away we go. So let's now now build everybody up, and let's get tuned. Go ahead, and here's your A. Good. Now let's go to D. And go to G. And go to C. All right, great. So here's another thing. When you play notes that are sort of chords that are on top of each other, and let me just call up that. Let's actually open up with a scale, and then we'll get into chords for the next part. So here is yes. Do 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 do. Okay, I would like to do E minor. And we'll do a 2-octave scale of E minor. And it's got 2 sharps. If you have the Klingle book on with you, it is on page 5. And it's the very last one. And I'm going to break that nice and big for you all. Close that. Page 5, page 5. There we go. All right. And here I'm going to screen share that particular set. All right, cool. So here is E minor, and what's going to be involved here is that we're going to get into a fairly low position here to get into 3rd position right up here on the D string. Okay, and it's going to involve a sort of thing of a stretch, and we're also going to start with an extended finger over here so that we're ready for extended fingers over here. Okay, and then once we get into 3rd position on the D string, then we're going to go over onto this 2nd position on the A string. Let me just move this over here so you can see a little bit better. All right, cool. A little bit bigger. All right, so let's play this thing, and I'm gonna sort of work you through the individual notes on it. First off is an E, and go ahead and play. Yeah. And the E minor. Then we're gonna go for the F sharp, 4th finger. Then open G, A. Now we're going to extend 2nd finger, B, C sharp. All right, that's a really high one. And then we're going to go back to half position, and we'll have a 1, and then a 2 over here. And this is in the let me just bring this back over just for a second to the regular part. So here I have the 2nd finger, F sharp, open G, B, stretch, C sharp, stretch, now sharp. There, we seem to be getting a little bit of an interference on this. Let's see. Maybe your speakers are a little bit loud or something like that, but it's feeding back through. Well, we'll just make sure that. So I have a half position for D sharp, and then a 2nd finger on the E, and that gets us through the 1st octave. Stretch to half position. Okay. All right. So next, we're going to take a look at, and let me give you the overview for the next octave, which is 2nd finger, 4th finger, F sharp, G natural. Then I'm going to stretch again for the A, B, 4th finger. Here is C sharp and D sharp, 3rd finger, and 4th finger, E. So what's happening here is I'm going back to 2nd position, then I'm moving to 3rd position on the way down, or 3rd position on the way up, and then 2nd position on the way down. So half position, 3rd position, 2nd position. No open strings here. So here is the, there we go. So here is the scale again. And let's go right from this second finger E. So second finger half position on the on the on the D string. Go ahead and play it. Good. F sharp. Then G natural first finger. A second finger. B fourth finger. C sharp first finger. Now this is back into second position. D sharp third finger. And E fourth finger. Okay, so let's go and review just going up. This is the upward. Yeah, good. I heard a good D sharp in there. Yeah. All right, here we go with this one. Let's do that again from here. Second finger. And this may be the toughest one we've done. Second finger. F sharp. 4. G open. A1. B2. C sharp 4. D sharp 1, E2, F sharp 4, G1, A2, B4, C sharp 1, D sharp 3, and now second line, E4. Okay, now when we come down, we're going to use the lower version of the scale, namely the in melodic minor. We raise the 6th and 7th degrees of the scale to make it easier, actually, for singers, and to make it a more melodic kind of shape that you can have without big jumps. And then we have the lowered version to remind us that yes, we really are still in E minor. So I'm going to start right here on this E. And here we come down. Fourth finger, E, D2, stretch, C1, B4, A2, G1, F sharp 4, E2, D, oh, it says D1, it must be here. You can open, C4, B3, A1, G open, and F sharp 4. And lastly, E2. Go ahead and take a screenshot of this page, and then we'll take any questions, and that way you'll have it available to you. So go ahead and take a screenshot, and oh, let me get the little pointer out. Yes, absolutely. Hold on just a second. Everybody got a screenshot in? Okay, question. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, Barbara.
Yeah, the descending part of it, it says 4-1. Are they talking about fourth position?
Oh yeah. I think that is what they intended to do.
It's a movement though, isn't it?
Yeah, it seems to be a different font, and so tell you what we'll do just to practice this. I think we should probably go up to fourth position. Yeah, good point. You know what? It'll be a good practice. We'll do keep that paperwork or keep that screenshot, and if you go to the if you can find also the Klingel Studies book, which is book 1, you'll find exactly that one. They may have fixed it in more recent editions. Mine is the public one. So yeah, so let's do that one more time, and then we'll leave that. This is just sort of our introduction for the week to E minor. I'm going to pull it back up, and this time I will be using. Oh, I sure do like an open string when I can use it, but we'll do the fingering as written. Okay, so here we go. sharing. Merge. There we go. Merge. All right, so here's our scale. We'll do it note by note. Here is E minor, second finger. Now, even if you think you can't find the notes, I want you to try this, and I want you to sort of follow along at the fingerings and see if you can match the notes. Use your ears, because that's all we really have as cellists. We're just putting our fingers down on a block of wood, a black piece of wood. So see if you can use your ears and really fill in. Here we go with the E. All right, here we go. F sharp. Excellent. Okay. Open G. Now, open G, you can actually wave your arm around and check that out. Okay. Then we've got a A, first finger. Stretch for a B, second finger. C sharp, fourth finger. Sharp. And here's the weird part. We're going into half position. And now second position. I mean a second finger, D, E. F sharp 4. G1. A2. B4. C sharp 1. D sharp 3. E4. Okay, now take a little breather. We're going to start with the E again. Yeah, good job, everybody. So E down to D2, C1, E4, A2, G1. All right, here we go. Fourth finger, F sharp on the G string. Now see if we can manage that. It's a weird one. I'm going to hold it because it's actually kind of a hard note to play. All right, so everybody, your hands should be up in fourth position, and your fourth finger should be pretty high up. I'd say about maybe 4 inches past your 4 inches past your thumb. And it should sound like this. There we go. Good job, Lucy. Second finger E. First finger D. Fourth finger C. Third finger B. First finger A. Open G. And now, fourth finger F sharp. And lastly, E. Okay. Now going up, it does seem a little bit, let me just show you this part. It did occur to me that this could be also done in the same position as going down. But I love half position. It's so nice. And I'll bring this back. So half position is such a handy position, and I would love to work that one in so that you were going. Because there are times when you really need it, especially when you have a lot of sharps or a lot of flats. You find yourself using these this low fingering right over here. Okay. Next. And some of you enterprising cellists will also know that, like, oh well, actually I could probably save myself a little bit of trouble and go. Just go into first position, third finger. Now, one of the tricks of coming down is that you kind of have to guess where the next note is. And that just comes from a little bit of, like maybe spend some time singing the scale a little bit to you. Like have in your head like da 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 da, and just be singing that to yourself, so that then what you're doing is you're applying what's in your ear to your fingers, and we're sliding around. And I would say that's our best skill, is to like make sure that we have this idea of what we want the music to be, and then applying that to making that happen on the cello. So sometimes I have to listen to a piece. YouTube is certainly very valuable learning scales and learning pieces, because I can look at it and say, oh, that's what they're doing. It's pretty handy. And I don't own any Google stock, so you're safe there as far as conflict of interest. So any questions on this E minor scale? I was like one scale a week. And later in the week, we'll develop into the 3-octave set portion, the 3rd octave of it, and then we'll do the arpeggio later in the week as well. So any questions on E minor, anything like that? Okay, super. So the next thing that I wanted to do, and let me go find the file for this, is how to do a double stop or a triple stop. And let me just call up that bit. I think I prepped it. Oh yeah. All right. So I'm going to bring up this this piece of music that is also found in the fourth book in Suzuki, and it's got a great set of bowings and arrangements. But I have for this one, I'll just show you this one right here. Okay. So here is how to play a double stop, and dun, 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 dun. There we go. All right, so we're gonna head back into here, and I'm gonna sort of like outline how all of these chords are done, and because we have a rounded bridge, right? And so we can really only play 2 notes at a time, 2 strings at a time. But then we also have to sort of like pay attention to which one is louder and which one is softer. So I can play a double stop, for instance. I'm going to do it on D and G, where I play mostly D and I just touch the G. Go ahead and everybody play that. Try playing the D, and then I'm just going to barely touch the G. Incidentally, this is one of the best ways to get to the point where you aren't playing any accidental open strings. I'm just going to touch it, just so it just barely makes the sound. Great. The next thing is I'm going to try doing a G where I just barely touch the D. So it's mostly G, and then I'm playing D with it. Okay? So it's almost like a mixing board that you've seen. Incidentally, I think the mixing board is the most important musical instrument of the 20th century. But that's just me. So a mixing board has these faders that you push up and down. And what I'm doing is I'm saying, I want lots and lots of G, and I'm just going to add in a little bit of D. Okay? And different kinds of mixing boards, perhaps you've seen, have sliders and things. Yeah. So here I'll bring one in. Here is a mixing board. I'm going to put it in the light so you can see it. Okay, and over here we've got 4 different channels, and each of them you decide how loud you want each one to be. So in this instance, like, you can kind of think of it as the strings. I'm not playing any C and I'm not playing any A. I'm going to crank up my G, and I'm going to add in just a little bit of D. Try that out, everybody. Go ahead and play lots of G and very little D. Now let's switch it. So I'm going to move the D all the way up, and I'm going to move the G all the way down. Lots of D. very little, and I'm gonna move just the G just a little bit up so we can hear just a little bit of it. Okay. Okay. Next, let's put them both really loud. Crank them up. Both play them both evenly and equally, just like that. Keep them even all the way across your whole bow. That should sound like that. And I want to see if you can hear go all the way across with both faders all the way to the top. Good, and let's do that for the C because it's so much fun. Everybody go to C and G. That's full on, but let's take those faders down just a little bit and let's see if we can do it very softly. Good. So now when playing double stops over here, oops, there we go, I'm over here. I'm going to show this from the music that we've been sort of working on for the last couple of weeks, and we've been doing portions of it. Right over here we have a 3-note chord, and we have a 3-note chord, and then a 4-note chord. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to play 2 faders all the way up, E and G, which is first finger and open G. And then I'm going to roll over and I'm going to play 2 notes here. And that G will generally keep ringing. It'll sound like this. Okay? And it'll look like this. Okay, I'm going to go back to music and everybody try that. Just do bum bum. And it's almost like we're flipping a switch over to the other string. Back up. There we go. All right. So here's the music. We're going to play the first chord. So we're going faders up on the E and G, then faders up on the C and E. Go ahead and try that. Yeah, good. I love hearing this. Good. More. Yeah, it's probably it's a super satisfying sound to make as well, okay? And so now I'm going to go over to this chord, and I'm going to play 2 opens on the full fader, and then I'm going to go with a D and the B first finger on full fader all the way up, faders all the way up as well. So here's that chord. Everybody try that. And that is G, D on the bottom. Play those together. And then the B. Go for it. Let me see if I can... yeah, I'll make this even bigger. Yeah. Oops. Good. And then, here, let's play this one, which is all 4 strings. And what I'm going to do is there's not going to be too much time where I'm playing these 2 together. I'm just going to play these 2 together, and then I'm going to play these 2 together. And it's going to look a little something like this. So I'm playing everything loud here, and then everything loud here. Ready? Try that one. Here's the chord. Here's the... Yeah, do it. Good. Somebody's got an A in there. Be sure to put your second finger down on the C, and that way you're playing just C's, E's, and G's. Good job, everybody. Try it again. Uh-huh, good. And you'll want a second finger C to make that all work. Second finger C. Now let's put it all together. We'll play. They're all down bows, and they're kind of like big columns of music. I'm going to play the first chord, which is G, E, C. Okay. Then we're going to go to D, G, D, B. And then I'm going to play all of them. Okay. So that's making chords. Yeah, try it some more. This is great. C, E, G. G, B, D. Or no, G, E, C. I'm going to go from bottom to top. G, D, B. And then C, G, E, C. Okay. Yeah, there's some variations in it. Sometimes you might wanna have a little bit more rounded approach, and maybe just have it be on one note, depending on the style of the composer or what they ask for. But when you see 4 notes on top of each other, that's the technique for doing a double stop. A triple stop or a quadruple stop. Okay, and then of course, if you can always practice each one as a double stop. Those types of things, okay? So have fun today with the resonance of the instrument. Play lots of double strings, and then figure out exactly when you're playing double strings, when you want to and when you don't want to. And we'll see you tomorrow. All right?
Yeah.
Cool. Take care, everybody. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.